to 27 Degrees SAG. I'm your host, Kimla Lowe. I am a certified astrologer, psychic medium, and feng shui practitioner and consultant. And I just love tonight. We are under a Capricorn supernova full buck moon. Does it get any better than that? I don't know. We also are teaming up with a powerful Pluto. If you want to hear everything that's going on with this particular full moon, why don't you come on over to Facebook and friend me, because I do all of the posts. Please like my page, 27 Degrees SAG, SAG, from the Galactic Center, and we'll keep you in touch. But in the meantime, make sure you tell your friends and like, share, and subscribe. Hit those buttons for me, because that really helps us get the show to a specific point where we can get on more inspiring guests and really share the topics that are important for you. Tonight, I have a wonderful spiritual friend on board. I've got to tell you, she is so multi-talented. I really don't know where to begin, but it's my job to get it rolling. So here we go. Her name is Marisa Crow, and she is a Reiki master. She's also a certified crystal healer, among other things. She has so many natural psychic gifts that we only wish we had a little pinky full of what she walks around with every day of her life. I want to bring her in because she is the owner of a wonderful mystical shop. It's also an intuitive sanctuary, and she has a wonderful mystical school or mystery school developing there in Palm Coast, Florida. I was lucky enough to just stumble into this beautiful vibe called the shop, and she was so friendly and just kind of embraced me and brought me into her gypsy tribe. Please put your hands together for Marisa Crow. Thank you, Marisa.
Hi, thank you.
How are you on this powerful full moon?
It's been good, but it's been a little bit, you could feel it. You could feel the energy. You could feel definitely the surge of the moon. And it makes sense because it's a super moon, like you said. I could
I
feel
know.
it.
I had a really hard time sleeping last night.
Me too.
You did? I know. So hopefully we'll learn how to align ourselves with our crystals tonight and, sleep like a baby. The crystals, it's such a huge topic to cover. But I mean, crystals are an earth element. They literally are grown from the earth.
Mhm.
And yeah, and they're used for so many different things. And what I want to talk about is how, do they really have the power to heal? Do they have the power to really affect our bodies? And that's kind of what I'm here to ask you tonight. And I know there's so many different kinds of crystals, but if we go over the kinds of crystals that we can use for healing purposes, I think
Mhm.
that's a good place to start, right?
Yes, I agree. I definitely agree. So
Awesome.
let's see. When it comes to what's the main thing that's going on in the earth right now? Maybe it's about self-love, because this is 2022, which 2 plus 2 and 2 is a 6 year, which 6 vibration is love. And it's like family love, it's self-love, it's just being more compassionate. So let's start with that. So this is rose quartz,
Yay.
and it's kind of like a light pink, but I don't know if you can see it clearly. It kind of looks a little bit more clear. Yes, there's yours. Oh, I love you have the raw one.
Yeah, I
Is
have the raw one. But I also have the polished as well. I just didn't have it on my tray tonight.
Yes. So this is more of a subtle light energy, and you would either hold it to your heart chakra, which is here placing around your heart. And the way this heals us, because most people are like, what in the world? How do crystals heal us? The truth is that we are electromagnetic beings, obviously. That's why they use EKG machines when you go to the hospital. They have to literally shock you because we emit frequencies, just like the brain waves and all those things. So crystals, because of the color and where they are in the earth, they emit a certain vibrational frequency, but it's subtle. It's not like, taking a medicine or, that works very quickly in the system. This is more of a like healing your auric field, and your aura is outside of your body. And that's what crystals do. They emit this frequency that's very light and very subtle. But the more you work with them, the more your aura and their aura starts meshing together. And that's how you start healing yourself. But it's subtle things. Like you might work with that for a month and go, wow, I've been feeling really nice to people, but it's because the energy is helping you realize maybe you don't need to be so harsh anymore. Maybe you need to look at yourself and become more loving and compassionate with yourself. So it's hard to explain to people because they think it's going to happen right away.
Right, right. Well, we use the rose quartz in the southwest direction in feng shui for really supporting the maternal energy within the home, the mother energy, and also the feminine. And so we always recommend that you have two, because we like to support relationships and marriages in the Southwest as well. So if you have two rose quartz and you place them in the southwest corner of your bedroom, this will not only attract a higher frequency into your marriage or your partnership, but it will also give the mother and the female of the family a voice to be heard with compassion and love. So this is something that it crystals scan so many different philosophies, and they're used in so many different ways. So and the smooth round ones we use a lot for calming energy, and really for kind of calming down any kind of anxiety, or if there's a high temperament within the house, or bipolar. You really don't want to have a lot of, let's just say, a lot of sharp corners and things like that to the crystal itself. Let's talk about
Even clear quartz would not be good because it amplifies the energy that's around you.
yeah, let's talk about clear quartz. And I have a point here on mine.
I got a pyramid.
And you have a pyramid.
I do. There's something on the bottom of it. Yes.
So when you have an amplifier like a clear quartz like this, can you program your crystals?
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
talk about intention. Let's talk about that.
Okay. So it depends on what you want to program, but they are always wanting to do little duties for us. So the crystals are always there to help you no matter what you need. So when you buy a crystal, let's say you buy a crystal from a shop, you want to go home and cleanse it. And you can either sage it, you can put it in salt. Some you have to be careful if you put it underneath cold water because some will disintegrate. So you have to be very careful. But once you cleanse your crystal, now you want to program it. And you can either also use the full moon to cleanse things, but you want to program them towards the new moon because that's when you set your intentions. And this is how I program mine. There's so many different ways. I hold my crystal and I focus on the energy. So let's say we're using clear quartz, which is going to amplify. It's a master healer. It's what's all over the world. It's what's in your watches. It's what's in the computer. Like they use it for everything. The pyramids used to be coated in clear quartz because they knew how to magnify things. But so you want something that's magnifying you and healing you. So like for me, I would say I really want this clear quartz crystal to help me focus on my healing journey and amplify all of my shadow self so I can overcome. So you would just hold it. I hold mine for at least a couple of minutes, focus that, and I would say it over and over again in my head. And then if you want, once you're finished programming it, keep saying it over and over and over again. You can place it somewhere in your home, and you can put a piece of paper underneath that also states that in the day. And that way, it's like you're amplifying it with speaking it, holding it, putting the intentions telepathically, but also placing something underneath. So now you're giving it more because it's kind of like you're resonating your frequency with it, and the more you resonate, the more the frequency just keeps the energy there, and it just programs it. But there's so many different ways. How do you program your crystal?
I do the same thing, actually. I First of all, as we're talking about just basically getting into the third eye, and I kind of shoot a beam to my crystals or
Ooh.
to any kind of any kind of little figurines or statues or anything else. But I kind of just put everything into what I would like. And there's many things that I also do, as far as the little trinkets for feng shui and things like that. Um, but what I wanted to get at is, how do you know? You go into a crystal shop like yours. How do you know that crystal is compatible with you?
Okay. In the beginning, it's gonna be almost 10 years, but in the beginning, I'm very visual. So I would go into a crystal shop, and I would just feel that I want to go. I would look at all the crystals, and I would look around, and whatever one I felt was catching my eye, I would go for. But now, doing this for a lot longer, I usually grab the crystal and I put it on my heart. And usually, you want to use your left hand because the ulnar nerve is connected to the heart. That's why most people, when they have heart attacks, it's always a left hand because it's connected. The nerves are. So I put it here and I place it on my heart, and I stand kind of like center of gravity, hip width apart, and I just bend my knees a little bit, and I just focus, and I ask inside my higher self and my soul, do I need this crystal? And normally when you go forward, it's a yes, and when you go back, it's a no. It's like a human pendulum. So you're asking your higher self, your soul, do you need this crystal? But other times it's whatever emotions you're going through. So if you are dealing with low self-esteem, you would want to know where is that in your body. And the chakra is yellow, which is a solar plex, and that has to deal with your power, your self-esteem, your willpower. So you would want to look for crystals that resonate with yellow. So you would look around and say, okay, look at all these yellow crystals. Which one do I want to use, and which one do I feel gravitated to? So it could be visually, it could just be holding it, or like I just said, using your body as a pendulum. That's how I
That's a
look.
good, yeah, that's a really good indicator. The body goes forward. Muscle testing is very good. Dowsing is very good. But let's talk, you brought up a good point about chakras. If you don't know what chakras are, there's many, many different books and YouTube meditations on the wheels of energy that align in your body, and they're all a different sound, a different color, and they all rule a specific thing to do with all of your 6 different fields that are in your body, 6 or 7. So when we talk about healing the body, do we always align the crystals up the chakras? Or do we use different, let's say, different crystals to maybe enhance or to calm or to open up if there's a blockage in some of the chakras as well?
Well, when I check my chakras, I start myself grounding. So I start with putting a protection first, because I want to
Mhm.
just create that sacred space for myself. So I'll put black tourmaline, sometimes black obsidian towards my feet area. Or if you're laying in bed, you would put on the bottom of the bed, like the Yeah, the bottom. And then I would start with the red chakra, which is your root chakra. So I would find a red crystal, anything that feels that you're called to. Usually it's red jasper. You can use smoky quartz. Usually reds, browns, blacks is what you want to focus for the root chakra. And then you would move up to orange for sacral and then yellow for solar plex. So you would align them from the bottom up all the way to your head. And you could just lay in bed and relax. You could put sometimes I used to do meditation music on YouTube, and it was just like cleansing your chakras, and I would do that for a while. Or sometimes you can hold a pendulum. I have one. You can hold a pendulum, which technically is just something that hangs on the bottom. You can use your keys, necklace, whatever you prefer, but you would hold your pendulum above your chakras and you would see if they're opening up. Oh, well, I'm using my throat right now. So you see it starts to move, which is opening up. And that's what you can tell, like, okay, maybe my crown, maybe it's not, it's kind of small circles, oh, it's kind of closed. Mine is
No,
really tiny.
now you're making mine close.
And then you would go, on your heart, like, okay, is my heart open? And then you just focus and you allow it. And it usually is. Now, I will say this, usually it circles because of the chakras. They're wheels in your body and the way they come out, because they usually come from the spinal cord all the way out, and they're circular, and then they come from the back. So you look at yours, your palm chakra. And so it usually is very circular, but that's because we're not doing, we're not using this for divination, like yes or no, but this is just looking for the chakras. And that's how you know if they're open or closed. You can see if the circle's small, you kind of need to work on that chakra. If it's big, then I've been doing a good job. It's opened.
So what's the best kind of stone or crystal to get for the pendulum?
It depends. What you have there is sunstone, which is sacral chakra and solar plex, and it's leadership, it's power, it's a Leo stone. It's very like strong will. So that's a good one. This one is green adventuring, which is for good luck, prosperity. So if you wanted to have a pendulum for different things in your life, like career, you would want what you have, the sunstone, because it's leadership, and green adventuring because it's good luck and prosperity and abundance. You wouldn't want I'm trying to think of which one you wouldn't. Well, you could have black tourmaline, but you would want that more personally, asking questions about you because it's very protective. You wouldn't want that for a business. So it depends on what the crystal does, but you don't have to go into details with your pendulums. You could just go with whatever you feel. But like you said, each stone has their own energy and vibration. So it would help. It would enhance.
Right. And this is such a fascinating subject. I really, compared to the knowledge that you have, I really have just kind of dabbled in it and crossed it over with a lot of other philosophies like feng shui that I know. But how did you get involved in all of this?
Oh gosh. How did I get involved in all this? I started a long time ago when I was really young, when I was going through intense depression. Someone had given me a black onyx ring, and I didn't know it meant willpower, strength to stay focused. And I never knew what that meant. I just was obsessed with it. I think I was 13. And then later on, I started working as an occupational therapist assistant at the hospital. And I was working with a lot of strokes and amputees. And I had this one woman, she had a stroke, and she wasn't able to use her throat. And I remember getting her in the shower and getting her ready. And her husband gave me a malachite, which is a green stone, which I don't have here, but it's dark green. And I kept thinking to myself, why did he give me a crystal? And then it just started. And then 2 weeks later, my friend said, oh, you should take this Reiki class. And then then that opened me up to energy and chakras and learning all, what all these things do and what do crystals do. And then it was like, forget it. I started going to metaphysical shops, and I would go everywhere and look at all of the crystals. And I was like, my hands would get hot. My body would like tingle. And I was like, holy moly. So then I went to Hibiscus Moon Crystal Academy. And it's this academy that you take for almost 9 months or so. I think now it's shorter. But back then, this was 1990. Can't remember now exactly. But when I took her course, she is a science teacher. So she was teaching everything scientifically. Like, what did they mean and what did they resonate? And so that's how that started. And then I did occupational therapy with children, and a lot of them were in the spectrum. And I would bring crystals into the sessions, and a lot of the children would say, I can see things coming out of that. I can see light coming out of that. And can I hold that? That makes me feel calm. And that's when I knew, oh, there is something to this.
Right.
I'm not just imagining this. These children, they're not tainted. They're not biased. How do they know what's going on with the energy? How could they read energy? So that's how that started.
Right. And a lot of people out there right now are wondering, why are my hands getting hot? What's going on with me? And that's why it's so important to have the outlets and the availability to these intuitive sanctuaries that you have so boldly and courageously put together for us here in Palm Coast, where we can learn about all of these things. And I'm going to insert this now before I forget, but I'm teaching a feng shui basic class.
Yes, where's the flyer? I'm going to get it.
And it is on Saturday from 2 to 4:30. We're going to be learning all about the Bagua and your introduction to feng shui, and why this is so important in your life, because it actually rules a third of your life. So when you know how to manipulate and direct energy within your space, you can also bring it in and heal the body as well. So that's going to be right there at the Indigo Door, Palm Coast, Florida. And if you would like to come by, come on by. It's from 2 to 4:30, and we'll sign you up and get you started. And we also are going to use your floor plan in class. So that's going to be really fun as well.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yes.
So going through, so when you're working with these crystals, I mean, you've got all of these layers. You've got the physical body, the astral, the casual, the etheric, the emotional, the mental. You've got all these layers that take up this big, aura that we walk around with. But sensitive people can see that. Can you see it when you are healing someone? Can you literally see it change color, move, develop a wave, or sparks of sparkly lights? Or can you actually see that electromagnetic field changing and relating to this particular crystal therapy?
So the only thing, I'm clairvoyant, but it's more of when I close my eyes, I can see images and pictures, not in the physical realm, except for lately I've been seeing sparkles, which is kind of cool because it looks like in the middle of the air, something is cut open, almost like a veil is being peeled, and then this little white sparkle. That's the first thing I've ever seen. But when I'm working on the body, let's say they come in for a session, they lay on the table, and you put the crystals on them, and you're working through the chakras, and then doing Reiki you can feel the vibration. I can feel it, because once you start with your hands normal temperature, I should say. And then once you start going into the body, you can start feeling where the heat is going. And in the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, their stomach is really hot. There's something going on there. And that was my cue of like, there's something going on with their self-esteem, their solar plex. They don't feel like they can step into their power. They're just not feeling okay. Or maybe they have stomach issues or intestine issues or spleen. There's something going on either in the physical body or the emotional body. And then that's how I started telling them at the end, hey, I really felt really warm, on your stomach, and this is what was going. And then they could say, oh, I really been having stomach issues because I'm always sick at work because my boss is yelling at me and I don't have enough guts to tell them how I feel. So that's how you start seeing how it feels. But yes, I could feel the energy off of the body, and I could feel it like it feels like a subtle pulsing, and it's like heat radiating. Kind of like when you have a fever and you're so hot and you're laying in bed and you can feel your body's hot, not just inside your body. You can feel the outside temperature is hot and then inside, and you feel like this weakness within you. That's how I could feel the heat coming off of each person. So I don't see waves, but I bet you people do see waves.
Right. I've got a question here in the
Yeah.
chat room. Hey, everybody. I want to say thanks so much for coming along. We've got Bill and Phil and Priscilla, and we've got Ivy. Hi, Julie. Hi, Mary. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Sheila. Hi, everybody. We've got a question, and I hope I'm going to say this right. What can you tell us about rhodonite?
Okay, rhodonite. Okay, there it is. I see it. It's Priscilla, right? Yes. Wow. Okay, rhodonite is very powerful. Rhodonite is pink, which I do have it up there, but it's pink with black through it. Now, the black is a way of going into the darkness crevices of your heart. So a lot of people that have trauma, they really, really prefer rhodonite versus rose quartz or rhodochrosonite or pink opal, because rhodonite also helps if you've been through like sexual trauma, any type of trauma, emotional trauma, physical trauma. It just goes into the darkness of your heart and starts relieving all of that and releasing. So rhodonite is very, very powerful for that. That's what I would use rhodonite for.
Wow. That's
Mhm. It's a
very
powerful one.
I hope that answered your question, Priscilla. And
Yeah.
we have another one. Mary says, I've been drawn to lapidolite.
Lepidolite.
Lapidolite.
Yes.
I
Oh,
was way off.
yeah.
It says that the psychic stone with lithium. Can you tell me more about its properties?
Here's
Ooh,
it's
that's
like a
pretty.
yeah, it's like a purpley with mixed. So you're right, Mary. There is lithium inside. This is a really bad example because you can't really see the sparkles, but the white little silver sparkles is lithium. Now, lithium, if you rub on it enough, it starts flaking off and it starts going into your fingertips, which the biggest organ of the body is the skin. So then it starts going into the system, into the blood system. That's what they have in Prozac, Wellbutrin. Like a lot of antidepressants have lithium in it because it helps calm the mind and relax the body through the blood system. So that's why lepidolite is so powerful. And if you're being drawn to it, it's because you're either needing to release some stress, don't we all? Or
Sure.
it's because you're needing calmness and you're wanting your mind not to be like the monkey mind. You are wanting to calm down because it's the crown chakra stone. So you're wanting your mind to be more at peace and more relaxed. So that's
Oh,
probably why you're gravitated towards it. And it helps your psychic abilities because it helps you relax yourself so much that you remove the ego, which is the ego that says you're not good enough, you're saying it wrong, no one knows what you remove the ego and you calm yourself enough to go into yourself. And then it helps you align you to your psychic powers.
wow.
Good one.
Oh, I love that. That looks really good. Ivy says, would you recommend a crystal for me to work with at this time? I don't know if you can psychically tune in to
Oh,
her.
let's see. Um,
Ivy Phoenix.
okay, I see her. I see you, Ivy. Okay, I'm just going to focus. Whoa. Okay, I got 2. I definitely heard for protection. This is called black kyanite, which helps remove the wow, I'm getting a lot of stuff for you. I've never done this before. This is kind of exciting. Never did this
Is
on
this the
yes.
same thing?
Yes. Yes, I'm going to close this off. Yes, black kyanite. So it also removes anybody who's trying to attach themselves to you energetically. So it cleanses your auric field. That's why kyanite is very powerful. It's not just protective, it cleanses your auric field. So you probably, I would focus on this one. The other one I heard is lapis. And lapis helps you open up your third eye so you can allow your gifts and your psychic abilities to come through and focus more. And you can just lay on your bed or wherever, and you can put it right on your third eye. You can just hold on to it and rub on it for a couple of weeks. And I think someone asked about the properties of the crystals.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Mary asked, can you tell me more about that? So you have to remember that these properties are with the color vibration and the frequency. And this is what they have felt years and years and years. And that's why everything's always written like rose quartz is love and lapis is third eye. But you have to remember something that I learned when I took the course on crystals is that you should really have a crystal journal. You should hold the crystal for a week or 2. And you should say, what was I feeling this week? Or why did I wake up today and I had the urge to grab this one crystal? Because even though this is meant for opening up your intuition, your third eye, you might hold this crystal and feel so relaxed. And you're like, I don't know why I feel so calm with that crystal. It doesn't do what other people say it does. So just remember that you have to use your own heart, your own discernment, and trust your own intuition of what the crystal is doing for you. So I hope that helps, Mary.
Yeah. There's so many qualities and attributes for each crystal, according to, their clarity or their hardness or, a lot of different things as well, their surface and their shape. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
and
very
it's made this way. Can you believe it's isohedron, which represents the element of water, but it's interesting how it came from the earth like this. Like, how cool is that? Nobody cut this, it wasn't carved or tumbled. It's so cool.
It is awesome. And there's so many cool places to go in the States that you can actually go and dig up crystals right out of the ground.
I
And
know.
yeah, and that's another cool way to recharge your crystals is to bury them in the ground and get them cleansed in Mother Earth so that she can cleanse them for you. So they go back to bed and take a little nap, and then you can redig them up, and they're all cleansed and they've given mommy all their bad stuff so that they're all recharged again.
It's true. And that's good too for what everyone's going through in this day and age is when we're feeling so much negativity. What you just said, it's like focus on the negative energy and bring it through your feet down to Mother Earth and let Mother Earth keep it and hold that energy and transmute it to something else. So it's good to be grounded. That's what people need to be doing, not in their head all the time. They need to ground themselves.
Hello, Janina. She says, Ocean Jasper is an obsession of mine lately. What can you tell her about Ocean Jasper?
Oh my gosh. I had a beautiful one, but I don't know where it is. Ocean Jasper. So first of all, Jaspers are usually very grounding. They're very protective and they're very nurturing. So Ocean Jasper has got all the colors in it. So it helps you connect with ancestors, old memories. And it must be, I'm hearing it must be increasing your gifts. So I would keep using it because if you're being gravitated towards it, you need to focus on using it. And the colors, there's so many different chakras that it works with. I'm just hearing mostly solar plex, which is good. It means you're stepping into your own. That's really good. That's a good one. Mm-hmm.
Yay, Janina.
Yeah.
Okay, it says, how often should I cleanse my crystals?
When do I do it? Maybe I do it every 3 months. I mean, it just depends on if you use the crystal all the time. I would cleanse it all the time during a full moon just to let go of the energy. But if you don't use it all the time and you've given it a duty, and let's say you have a crystal that you've left in your bedside, I mean, I would say after a couple of months or so, maybe even 6 months, say, you know what, it's full of dust. I need to cleanse it off now and give it some love because they do want love.
Exactly. Exactly. And another thing is, being an astrologer, there are better full moons in which to cleanse your crystals because you really don't want them to get charged up with an angry or a opposition full moon or something that's really going to be way over the top emotional if you're trying to get your emotions under check. So check with what type of a full moon is coming up for you. If you are working on becoming fertile or you want to have if you want to add to your family a full moon that is what we call in a dry full moon. There's dry seasons and dry full moons, and then there's fertile full moons, like the Taurus full moon. It's very fertile. So if you are, it really depends on what your intention is and what you are wanting to really cleanse and tune your crystals to, because we are the co-creators here. So one of my favorites is the amethyst, and I have one on. I
Oh,
love this one.
you got to show them the one you have on. That one is stunning.
This is the one I have on. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah,
There it
it's
is.
so clear.
It is. It's beautiful. And so tell me a little bit about amethyst because you see, this is a very common crystal.
I have one too.
Ooh, that is really pretty. Very.
Yes. Well, they say that this is one of the first ones that they used. This is like biblical time. They used crystals, a long, 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 long time ago, but especially amethyst. And amethyst, the vibration of amethyst is so powerful. The Egyptians loved amethyst, obviously, and lapis. These two were like their and malachite, which I don't have here. But amethyst is so powerful that it helps you with addictions. So they used to, the Egyptians, those big callus cups that they would have, and they would drink wine from it. They would encode the inside of it with amethyst. So it would
Wow.
stop them from drinking so much. And when I researched, I said, oh my gosh, they're so smart. Here's a little
I
one.
definitely need the amethyst.
I know.
Anybody that knows me knows. That's probably why I received this for my birthday. Oh yeah, we all.
They're like amethyst and wine. Here you go. I love it.
You. We should have one of those little amethyst wine stoppers, right?
I know, but
Good one.
it's so powerful because it's one of the most healing stones in the world.
Wow.
It's
Well,
so
I always
healing.
heard that it was very good for teaching, learning, and it held a lot of, if you wanted to enhance your respect for yourself and others,
Yes.
because of the color of purple itself, and
Yes.
also it works with the mental layer of your electronic
It does.
electromagnetic energy.
And it increases spirituality. So if you want to work on your spirituality.
Okay, we've got another question. Let me see. Okay, if you don't really use the stones but begin to use them, are you able to tell a difference in your energy field?
Yes. Yes, because the stones have their own frequency and vibration. So let's say you have like a tray and you have all these stones together and you don't know why you're feeling better. You're trying to figure out which stone is really helping you, but you don't know because there's a whole bunch of them. You would either start hovering your hand over that tray slowly, and see if you can feel heat coming off of your hands. Or you would just try each crystal, give yourself a week or two with each crystal and see how you're feeling. Because remember, it's kind of like when you're working with crystals, you would hold it for like a week or two and you're like, oh, I don't know, I don't see anything different. But then the next week, you're headed to work and you want to grab your lapis again. And you're wondering, well, why did I want to grab that? Well, then at the end of the day, you realize, oh my gosh, I really needed that because I had to really focus on my intuition because I had to make a decision like that. And I made the right decision. So the crystal could have helped enhance that emotion within you to give you some confidence. It's kind of like they're your wingman. They're giving you like little spurts of energy to help you figure out what you need.
I
So
love that.
hopefully that helps. I would try each crystal though, one by one, so you can see what it makes you feel, and like write a little journal. Like, how did this crystal make me feel? I love that one. Blue Celcetite. Is that what that is? I have one.
Yes. Tell us about this one.
Oh, this was one of my favorites. It's usually like this. It's usually on a matrix, which is this white part, which comes from the earth. And then it's got these pointed edges, which are little clusters. They're all combined together. And this is for like having sweet dreams. This is aligning yourself with your higher self. It's a communication. So it's like communicating with your angels. So I keep mine by my bedside. But the blue is your throat chakra. So it's any type of expression of self. I love this one. I can feel the energy already. Oh my gosh.
Well,
I'm crazy for crystals.
Crazy for crystals. I also wanted to ask you about the watermelon one.
The pink it's like a watermelon tourmaline. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get a picture of it here.
That's so rare.
It's rare, right?
Yes.
So what is it good for?
Oh, it's focusing on the heart. So it's like bringing forth your soulmate, bringing forth your compassion of self-love, bringing forth just a vibration of intense love, intense intuition. Yes. It's got the pink and the green. And remember that the green is our heart, is our I don't have a chakra thing, but the green emits from the heart chakra, and then the pink is usually the higher heart.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah,
it's powerful.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's very, very unusual, and it looks like a watermelon candy from here. I mean, it really does. It's really. I mean, do not consume these, but
no. Even though maybe someday we'll have crystalline DNA, who knows? But not right now.
We're working on it, right?
Yeah.
Wealth. What do you recommend for abundance and money?
I would say pyrite. Oh, yes. Wrong one. Pyrite is really good for abundance, and yes.
And citrine together.
Yes, I was just thinking, where's my citrine? Oh, there it is. Yes, I have like a dark one. It's like depends on the part of the earth that it comes from. Sometimes Africa, Brazil. Mine's really, really dark, but citrine is very powerful for manifestation and bringing money and abundance. But the other one that's really amazing is green aventurine, which you saw that earlier with the pendulum. It's kind of like a very light green. Jade. Jade is very.
Oh, yes. In which way that jade is unbelievable. Like jade bracelets. Usually you will be given a jade bracelet when you are about 12 years old. Yes. And if you haven't gotten it, then it's usually given to you by your sweethearts. So
yeah, I was just looking, but I don't see any jade. I'm like, I don't have any jade. I was looking at bracelets, but yes, it's like that nice light green. Mm-hmm. But jade is very, very powerful.
Very powerful. Very
for
powerful.
money. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, tiger's eye is too.
Oh yeah, we forgot tiger's eye. That's a good point. Do you have any of those?
I
Let's see.
do. I do. Let me see. I have to
And
run.
I'm going through everything that you probably have there.
I know. I was just thinking. I have tigers. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Do I have a bracelet? If not, I do have it up front, which I could run and grab it.
Let me see if I have a card on it. Hold on.
It's so pretty because it's got those gold and brown bands. And,
Here, I've got a red tiger's eye here.
oh, that one, yeah. Yep, that one's beautiful. And regular tiger's eye is like a gold. It's like a gold and a brown.
Golder instead of the red. Yeah. Yeah.
That's powerful. And it's powerful for protection too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's another type of crystal that we use for massaging the body, and it's a wand. And I was wondering if you could give us the properties and the times that you use a wand-shaped crystal.
So it just, for me, this is really fancy. This is a fancy dancy one. But what the wand represents is there's usually a part on the bottom that's pointed, and then there's always something usually rounded on the top. And this one is this is clear quartz, and the little tiny red parts are garnet.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for devotion, for helping clear and cleanse and heal. But you always want some type of something round on the top, because remember the shape of a sphere. This is rhodolite from Peru, so beautiful. But a shape of a sphere, what this means is that the energy is being brought in through all areas. So you're invoking all the energy to come in, because that's what the sphere does. It's most powerful. Kind of like the planets, if you think about it, energy is going everywhere. So the sphere is right. And then it goes down to the point. So what you want to do with a wand is, let's say you're having pain on your shoulder. And now you bought the crystal, you cleansed it, you held it, you programmed it, you said you're going to help me heal my body. And after you do all that, then you would focus on the pain, and you would start just to bring it down your arm, down your fingers, and then you would just focus on putting it down to Mother Earth and just releasing the energy. Yes. But it takes a while. Like at the beginning, I was like, I don't feel anything. What's going on? But the more you start focusing and circling and connecting with your crystal, it starts feeling like a tiny bit of like a tingle. Kind of like when you get pins and needles, you get this light, like tingle feeling. And that's what you use a wand for. Now, there are different wands that are shaped differently that massage therapists use. And that's to help get rid of the knots and the pain in the body. And it's just moving the energy through. That's what I use the wand for.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's terrific. I love that.
Oh,
well,
Lisa likes the wand. Lisa said, I love the wand.
I love the wand. Yay, let's hear it for the wands. There's a crossover also with crystals and astrology as well. And when you have your natal chart, you can muscle test or you can douse your crystals, and each particular planet, the moon, the sun, and all of the asteroids in your rising sign, all of your little points and aspects of your natal chart, you can align up the crystals. Let's say you have a beautiful Jupiter trine happening right now, and you want to bring in abundance, and you want to expand your work, or you want to expand your writing skills, or your relationship, or whatever you would like. You can actually go in on your natal chart, and you can go in and you can supercharge your soul imprint, because you are unique and only you have that particular matrix that is known as your soul, your imprint, your sound, your geometric design. And so when you go in with it's specific now, but when you go in with the wonderful knowledge that Marisa has, Um, she can help you combine all of that and really charge you up, not just the body, but your soul growth. Okay. So that's a really fun thing to do. What do you think about the crystal skulls?
What do I think about them? I don't have too many of them. I have a little baby mushroom here. The skulls, I don't know. I'm not gravitated to the skulls. I think they're beautiful. And I don't know if it's because in the ancient times, they had those clear quartz crystal skulls all over the world, and there was only 12 of them, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but I think it's just people carve things in different ways. I was just looking for something else, but I don't have it. But I think skulls are nice. Look at this one.
Ooh, what is that?
This is blue kyanite, and you have to be careful because the hardness scale, it's not that hard. So, and this is a mineral, so they don't consider this as a crystal, like a crystalline matrix. It's more of a mineral because if you put this in water, it will disintegrate after time. So you don't want to put this like on a windowsill or anything next to water. But this is my favorite. I have it in my ring. It helps align all of the chakras. It keeps you balanced. It keeps you focused, and it keeps your intuition clear and cleansed. So this is one of my favorites.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You were saying something about the astrology, and all I kept thinking was, it's like you're creating a crystal grid.
Yes, let's talk about crystal grids.
Yes,
Because you can do the triangle and the other triangle. So it's like a star. And that's really powerful.
Yeah, I was just thinking. So in a crystal grid, you would use, I have one. It's like a sacred geometry pattern.
There you go.
So it just depends on what pattern you like. But let's just say you wanted to use this pattern because it's got the fire, so all the elements plus ether. So in the middle, to create a grid, you have to first know what you're going to do. Like, why are you using a grid? So in the beginning, you
Why
would
would
say,
you use a grid? Why would you use a grid?
well, because you want to invoke, you want to manifest, and you want to invoke and harness energy so it's more potent. So if I wanted to do one, let's say my goal is to buy a house, right? So I want to bring in abundance in a home. So I would focus on crystals like a fluorite. You would put fluorite in the middle, but usually the ones in the middle, I will say they always have to have a generator. What a generator means is that it usually has 6 sides and it goes all the way to the middle. So it points because it has to hold all the energy and it has to ignite out. So like a pyramid, like in the Egyptian time, they knew what they were talking about. But anyways, we won't go there. But you want a generator in the middle, and then you want other crystals in the intersecting lines. So there's points there, there's points here, and then there's points here. So you would put, let's just say, for example, I wanted to bring in abundance and money. So I would probably want citrine, like what you had, put a citrine here in the middle, or to make it more powerful, you could do citrine, or you could do the clear quartz, which is intense amplifier, and you would put that in the middle because it has to have a point. And then you would pick jade. Let's just say you wanted jade. You would put all of these, let's pretend they're jade, and you would put all the jade in all these pieces, and then here in the middle. Now, you want to be able to connect the energy. So you would put little pieces of clear quartz. This is black kyanite, but you would put little pieces and you would put it in the middle so it's connecting. And then you would use a wand, or you could use your finger, whatever you're comfortable with. And you would want to, before you do all this, you would say, my intention for this grid to harness the energy, to invoke all the energy so I could buy a home. So please allow me to have the abundance to save and to do what I need to do. So then you would tap the crystal, you would tap the middle one, we're going to say it's clear quartz, and you would tap here. And then you go back, and so it's kind of like connecting the dots. And then you just go all the way around, and you keep connecting all of them until all the way till you go back to the beginning. And then you would put your wand down, and you would hover your hand around it. I usually do it 8 times because 8 is usually a number of infinity. And then I would just focus the energy, and then you can start feeling this like very subtle pulsating energy. And
Now,
now
do
you
you use your right hand or your left hand?
I use my right,
Right. Okay.
but it's up to you. If you're left-handed, I would use your left. I would use what's most dominant. But in
Okay.
the beginning, you think, oh, nothing's happening. You're just putting the crystals. But when you started putting your intention and then you started connecting, now you invoked the energy from the middle crystal and it's going all the way around. So it's creating like a interconnected vortex of alignment of all the crystals together. So it's creating its own little matrix. And then when you put your hand in the middle, you can start feeling the heat coming out. But you want to put this where your animals don't move it. So somewhere high. And then I always go once a week and hover over it and just keep setting my intention. And I leave mine up for 40 days, but you don't have to. You could do 30 days. You could do a year. You could do 2 years. But you want to keep giving it attention. You don't want to leave it there and leave it alone. You want to keep putting more intention, more energy on it with your hands. So that's what a grid is. And then to choose the sacred geometry pattern, because that's what I get asked the most, you just learn all about them and see which one you feel called to. You might want to do, you might want to do the Fibonacci, which is just a circular. You might want to do seed of life. You may, whatever you're feeling. This is a pentacle, but you may want to do whatever you feel. You might just want to do circles, or you might want to do hexagons. Some people use like you could do astrology board, which would be really cool. Do all the symbols around, and then you would put the crystal in the middle. You just have to find what sacred geometry pattern that you prefer and that you like. And that takes time.
Tell me, do you have those particular diagrams on your website for people to purchase?
I don't. I think I have a couple, but like this. This is Flower of Life. It's so powerful. The problem with this for a grid, I'm going to be honest, is that when you put the crystal and then you put all the other ones, all these intersecting lines, now you have to find little itty bitty crystals to put all the way around. So this takes a little bit longer. This is more tedious. But if you do the seed of life, which is just one circle in here, that's the seed of life. It would just be one crystal in the middle and then 6 crystals outside. That's the most common one, is the seed of life, because it represents the seed of life. But Metatron's cube, that one's really powerful too. I don't have one here, but that one is invoking all the elements and all the sacred geometry patterns in the earth. That's a powerful one.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Fun.
I know there are a lot of people who their comments are not coming through to us this evening. For what reason or another, I am not exactly sure. I'll have to ask my producer on that one. But we'll get them next time. But the show is coming to an end. So how do we get a hold of you? And how do we enhance our journey with getting our first crystal?
Okay. I would say, what emotion do you want to maintain? What emotion are you trying to work on for yourself so you can live a more peaceful and joyful life? So I would start with that. I would start with what emotion that you're feeling that you want to overcome, and I would research. I mean, you can go on Google, you can go everywhere, but you would research what crystals align with that emotion. So if the emotion is depression and sadness, then you would learn about lepidolite, howlite, what's amazonite. That's a powerful one for sadness. So you would want to learn about that. And then how to get a hold of me, you could go on my website, indigo-door.com. You can come visit us here on Palm Coast, and you can come talk to me. I'm also on Etsy under the Indigo Door. So that's how you get a hold of me.
Okay, I'm just putting it in right now, indigodoor.com, and you can see all the happenings in the calendar, and you can see me in there as well. And like I said, thank you so much. We are having so much fun this Saturday doing a basic Bagua series in Feng Shui from 2 to 4:30. We've already done the basic astrology, and we did that online as well. Janina,
Mhm.
he was in the chat room, and we just had a lovely time together going through that. And if you have any questions about crystals, you can get a hold of her at 386 or 5545.
It, oh my goodness. It's 386-585-4454. Now you're making me get confused. It's also on the website on the bottom of the page.
Marisa, we love you. You have got to come back when we can all, in the fall, we'll all make our intentions for what's coming up, because we have got this unbelievably long time for Mars being in Gemini. It's usually only there for 4 to 6 weeks in a sign. It's going to be there for like 8 months. So we're going to be working. We're going to be trying new things. We're going to want a lot of action. So
Yes.
to try new things, to learn new things. I
Yes.
love, oh, that's just gorgeous. We want to know all the names. We want to know how to get these. And so if you can't find anything, just come to Palm Coast. We're right there.
Yes, yes.
And Marisa will help you. Okay. And she does wonderful sessions, by the way. And they're very long sessions, healing sessions. So when you come in, you definitely get your money's worth. I can verify that. So there you go. Thank you all for coming along with us for this hour, Marisa. It's such a pleasure. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank
Come
you.
back. Please come back.
Thank you, everybody.
And we'll play with some more crystals. Until next time, may the angels protect you and guide you. Good night, everyone.
Bye.